we are at Fairfield Mall interviewing a bunch of teenagers and adults varying from
It's a variety of people from different cultures.
And we're going to be interviewing them based on what they know about Bay Area culture, where are they from, if they're from here, and how life is as an American in the Bay Area. We also are going to touch upon subjects such as gentrification and basically just them as an individual.
And we're gonna do a little bit of shopping.
We already did. So Alex, where are you from?
From the Bay Area.
What part of the Bay did you grow up in?
Oakland. Living in Rodeo, Hercules, but was always in Oakland, so. It was about the same, you know, there's always places you don't want to go in every city, so, you know, you just know your surroundings, feel comfortable. Everybody in the Bay Area can basically like come together as one, and like the culture is kind of the same, even though it's different, which is something you don't really get anywhere else. I've been to Vegas, I've been to New Orleans. I mean, everybody's nice in New Orleans, but it's just way different. There's all different personalities in the Bay Area that still, you know, you throw on Mac Dre, you can see every type of person dancing to that. So that's just something that we got out here. Straight love. Straight love. You know, that's what, you know, Pac was representing, even though he wasn't really from out here like that. But, you know, that's just something that everybody is on. Just love, showing it. No, I think if more people visited out here from everywhere else, they would definitely get a lot better understanding of just life in general. You know, so. Yeah. So,
you went to New Orleans,
New
right?
Orleans, Vegas. I'm looking to go to Texas. Shit, y'all getting political on me now. I mean, I ain't vote for Trump, I'll tell you that. Just saying, but, you know, no disrespect to people that voted for Trump. But, I mean, just, you know, you gotta look out for your fellow man. Like, you know, you see all these videos of people world starring fights and nobody's stepping in or nobody's calling the authorities. It's like, you gotta start somewhere, and I always look in the mirror and say, I gotta start with myself, because I can always change myself too. From that last little video I saw about the little lady in Oakland and Lake Merritt, it's sad to say that some areas are, but, you know, there's always something we can do about it, and it doesn't have to go bad. It doesn't have to go sour. If people find a way to live together, then, you know, Bay Area show that love, and we can all move along.
Has it ever happened to you? Have you ever experienced it firsthand?
Gentrification, no. Racism, yes. So that is something that's still big everywhere. I'm not just gonna say it's out here in the Bay Area, because that's everywhere across the world.
Yeah.
But yes, unfortunately, I have been a victim of racism. So, you know, it's not fun. So if people put their differences aside and, you know, open their mind, expand, I think it'll be a lot more love. When I was younger, you know, just walking into different stores, dressed in a certain way, people look at you different, they treat you different. I had went into the same store, dressed nicer with a button up. You know, they treated me different. So it's kind of crazy that people just look at you a certain way depending on how you're dressed or how you act or anything like that, and have no idea about you. You know, they didn't know if I had a degree or if I had money in the bank or anything like that. So, you know, people just need to open their eyes and expand their mind.
I grew up here, so I grew up in Fairfield, California, went to school in Vacaville. I honestly didn't do too much, I'll be 100% honest. I am definitely a homebody, and my parents, they raised me to be a little bit more sheltered. So I was very calm growing up life. I would say one thing is very diverse. I know that I moved to San Diego when I got a little bit older into high school. And then my mother moved to Orange County, so definitely being able to move back and really experience that diverse culture within Northern California. I think it's something that's just very inviting, and it's just very welcoming. I feel like you just experience different motivational goals and things like that for people who you experience just where they're from. It's always just different. It's hard to explain specifically how different it is, but you just see that people have different ideals and different mindsets when they're in a different area and a different culture. Living in San Diego, I mean, it was like full-on high life. Like, they were just relaxed, so chill. And it's so hard to kind of go back to that's what you would assume it to be, but it really was. It was a very relaxed and very chill environment. To where you're coming back up to the North Bay and going to like some of those areas like San Jose, very that fast-paced, fast-paced high life. Oh, this is a good one. You got me with that one, girl. I would just say, most importantly, it's about just being welcoming to others and being open-minded and open-hearted. I think that's what I take most about being American, and just being able to share with one another, whether it is those different ideas, different cultures, and things like that. love to know the exact same question. So I can't give you a definite answer on that, but hopefully in a positive place where everybody's feeling that same way. Just very welcoming towards each other.
Hi, I'm Iman. I'm from Fairfield, California, born and raised. It's cool. It's just kind of dry. It's pretty boring out here, but I appreciate it because it's pretty diverse out here. Yeah, I've visited a few places. I've been all the way to the Middle East. Well, the Bay Area, definitely compared to like other places in America, it's really diverse. Like, you go anywhere else, you go to Arizona or something, it's very not diverse.
Yeah. So when you went and visited the Middle East, was there an experience that you were kind of like, wow, this is different? Like a specific experience you had there?
Out here, my mom wears a hijab, and it's kind of, people like look at her sometimes. And then out there, everyone else wears a hijab. So everyone was just kind of looking at me because I didn't have my head covered.
Oh, so she was like seen as a norm there. And,
And everyone was looking at me funny because I was wearing a t-shirt. There's a lot of personality. I feel like,
Very true.
yes, I feel like the personality we have out here, we don't really have anywhere else.
Okay.
Everyone is kind of like in their own little bubble out here. My definition of being an American, having an American citizenship and being here in America and just welcoming everyone. That's what I think being American should be.
Do you count yourself as an American?
Absolutely. Just hopefully somewhere better.
Okay.
I like to see everyone getting along. I like to see no racism, sexism, homophobia, none of that.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, but I hope for that everywhere.
That's good.
Well, it's getting expensive. Prices are going up. The housing market is through the roof right now, so yeah, I think it's becoming a lot harder for people that have actually been in the Bay Area for so long to actually live here in the Bay Area because the prices are going up so high. It's forcing them to move out to like Arizona, Texas, and all the other states. So making it's more affordable for them to live outside of California at this point.
Well, I've never lived outside of the Bay Area, so it's hard for me to compare or contrast what the difference would be. I did live 2 years in Australia, and that's a significant difference.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
There's no real comparison anywhere else that I would know of in the United States. Well, like you said, California's unique because of the price that California soil costs.
Very diverse. We deal with a lot of different people from all over, so we get a different variety of different people coming from Northern California, Southern California, all mixing up here, different races, different cultures, different backgrounds. So it's good to be diverse and knowing how to deal with certain aspects of certain different groups doing this type of job. So
I bet you guys are just exposed to every single culture, like ethnicity.
It's very cosmopolitan. It's very, very urban. And one thing that all urban areas, cosmopolitan areas have in common is that they're almost always liberal in their politics, and that is the same pretty much anywhere in the United States. Any big city is going to be very liberal. You see that in just the way people handle themselves. A lot more accepting. You see it in how people act. It shares similarities with other urban areas. Like I said, it's very cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
You get a lot of people together, and then they share political beliefs, and it shapes the surrounding, whether it's San Francisco, whether it's Los Angeles, whether it's Austin, Texas, or whether it's New York City. They're going to be similar, but they're always going to be very different.
Yeah.
I was really, but that was in the military, so I'm a military brat. So we were stationed at Travis, and then before that we were stationed in Charleston, South Carolina, and I had family in Florida. That's where I was pretty much raised before we moved out here. So I kind of moved around a little bit, so I got to see the different type of environments, cultures, and stuff, and how they do things over there on the East Coast versus out here. It's all pretty cool. Not so much. I think once you get into that environment and see how things are moving, you kind of adjust and pick it up, and then same goes for California. People do stuff different than what they do out there, so it all varies.
To me, one of the unique things about being an American is the attitude we have towards freedom. For the most part, most Americans value freedom. I see it changing a little bit, and I don't think it's necessarily for the better. People are more and more willing these days to give up more of their freedoms. I can't say I necessarily agree, but it's their choice. Like I said, I lived in Australia for 2 years, and that was a significant different attitude that people had towards freedoms. But with that freedom comes responsibility, and it comes with a price. And if we're willing to pay it, we'll keep it. But if we're not willing to pay it, then it could change. But I think for the most part, Americans are very open-minded and accepting of other people. It sets us apart from other countries. Yeah.
Opportunity.
Define gentrification. Like, what's your perspective?
I would probably say, like, you know, in places like Oakland, for example, Richmond, and like, you know, everyone knows Oakland and Richmond as like, you know, like ghetto, or like, you know, somewhere like you wouldn't really want to be alone.
Right.
And then now they're turning it into like shopping centers and like, you know, making big houses and charging like millions of dollars for it for someone to live.
Yeah, it's kind of, I see what they're doing, which is making it harder for people that have actually been there and been in Oakland. They're making stuff so expensive, so it's forcing them to leave. And that's their way of, I would say that's the way I see it from my point of view, is their way of pushing people out. That way they can turn those project cities into cities that people want to come to and visit. So by raising the prices, they're driving people out. So that element, or however you want to specify or describe it. So.
Yeah, but even before that process began, there was always a stark difference in cities, right? In Oakland, you had the Oakland Hills,
Yeah.
and then you had the Oakland Project. In Richmond, same thing. You had very rich upscale pieces of Richmond and not upscale pieces of Richmond. Same with Vallejo. There's very nice places in Vallejo. There's very not nice places in Vallejo. Same here in Fairfield. Anywhere you go, there's going to be that community that drives up property value, that has investments that drive up property value. And there'll be areas that get left out. Now, you could say that this gentrification process is just the parts that were left out catching up, or you could look at it as them pushing them out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What would you say?
It could be a mix of both. You know,
Good and bad.
Some people may have ulterior motives to the development process. Others may think it's benefiting them just on a pure capitalism scale, right? If we move everyone up together, then the person who is down below is just a little bit higher. So I don't know. It's a tough question, but
Sorry, these questions are very.
I hate that shit. I really do, and it is being gentrified.
Have you seen it in Vallejo?
Hell yeah.
For example, where?
Here. Because I don't stay in the crèche no more, but it's like, where I'm at right now, when I was younger, I lived in the same house. It used to be guns and everything all down the street, and now it's none of that. My next door neighbor drives a Corvette.
But would that be a good thing to you, or how do you feel about that?
I don't know, I grew up just loving the Vallejo culture, and I feel like they're taking away from it. Just because it's a good spot in the Bay Area, because it's in between Napa and the city right there. I just love it out here in general. I love the weather. A lot of things you can go do, even though I don't really go do it much no more. In Vallejo, it's not really shit you can do. There's a couple of eating spots that's cool. But more than that, it's some trouble.
Okay, thank you.
I'm from Vallejo.
You're from Vallejo. Did you live anywhere else other than Vallejo?
I done lived all over the place.
Oh, like where?
Like San Francisco, Richmond, Fairfield, Vacaville, Dixon, anywhere up to 80, I done been there.
Okay, so you were pretty exposed to every part of the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Would you say that it was different at every part?
Yeah, definitely. Every city is different.
Okay.
Like, I mean, you know, the people that live out there, different places, you feel me?
Okay.
It's just different in every city. But it's different, but it's the same, if that make any sense.
So you did say you're from Dixon, right?
No, I'm definitely from Vallejo.
We're born in Dixon, right?
Definitely was born in Vallejo.
Okay.
Don't listen to that guy over there.
Anyways.
It was cool, you feel me? You know, growing up around different people, different cultures, you learn everything.
Okay,
We all family out here. It's fun, you know? We ain't afraid to be different. This is definitely different than different parts of the country, you feel me? We exposed to every different culture. We accept every different culture, and it's not that way around the country, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like down south, they don't, you feel me? It's different. Just you feel me, Nevada and Texas. That's
Okay.
it. I was a kid, I don't remember that. Just living the dream, man. Being able to try to do what you gotta do to make it. Probably, like, I hear about it in, like, San Francisco and Oakland and stuff, but I don't really know per se, because it's not going on out here, and I ain't been out there, but how I feel about it is messed up if it is.